Hey you guys, it's your girl Billionaire Belle. I'm back with another video. Today I am going to be making some pineapple teriyaki fried chicken, some homemade baked macaroni and cheese, and I think I'm just gonna do some green beans. I was gonna do some cream spinach, but I don't know. But today has been very eventful. I left the house at 9 a.m. It is currently 4:35 p.m. So I'm just getting back in the house. Today I purchased my first TV. It's only a small TV, but it's my first ever TV that I have purchased with my own money. So I am happy about that. I'm proud of myself. Yes, girl. And I love it. And I'm just sitting here listening to music. I'm about to get started cooking. I gotta wash this little bit of dishes and then we're gonna get into it. So I purchased a 6-pack of pork chops. Girl, it was on sale for $8. These are some nice pork chops. I'm actually only gonna be cooking 4 of these pork chops. So I'm going to put the rest into these Ziploc bags. Let me tell y'all something. Oh, I keep grabbing these bags. I'm thinking I'm grabbing gloves. But I'm so happy. Like, I got a TV. This is my first TV that I ever purchased. I told y'all. I got it from Best Buy. It was only $75. Yes, boo. I did a pickup order, so I had to go pick it up. But I am excited about it. And I'm a grown adult. Yes, I've never purchased my own TV. And that's okay. There are other people out here who haven't did the same, and that's okay. Like, if you're in the same situation, don't let nobody discourage you. You will get there one step at a time. It's different. It's all types of reasons why people haven't did certain things that other people have. So don't ever compare yourself to nobody. All right. So I planned on doing a whole vlog today and taking y'all with me to all of the stores that I went to, but time just started ticking and time just started flying by. So now I'm in the process of cooking dinner. Bubby just got off work, so he's probably on his way here. I should have been started, but I had to rearrange my whole entire living room to set up the TV, put all of the stuff away, and so now this is where we at. I mean, it shouldn't take that long. I think the longest part is probably going to be the mac and cheese. For the simple fact, I have to grate all of the cheese. And I am grating all of the cheese, right? So here's the thing. I actually had to purchase a brand new cheese grater because I did not own a cheese grater. So I had to go and buy one of these so I could grate the freaking cheese for the mac and cheese. All right, these are my pork chops. I'm about to wash these up. I got my limes right here that I purchased. I'm gonna put some water on them with this lime and clean them really good. We're gonna squeeze this lime juice on top and drop the limes in here with the pork because I don't play no games. I'm really not supposed to be eating no pork, but I was sick of eating the same freaking meat over and over again. So it's just like, what else is there to eat, you know? Especially when you're trying to be keto. But today is my day where I can have carbs. So I'm doing fried pork chops, baked macaroni and cheese, and green beans. And it's going to be so delicious. And I'm so excited. So I'm just about to... Alright, I got the pork chop sitting in the water with the lime. So I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes. And then I'm going to take each pork chop and scrub it with the lime and clean it real good. Then I'm going to season it up. And I'll be back. Okay, you guys. So I'm probably going to do a voiceover for the rest of this video. Because I do want to listen to my music while I'm cooking. So just enjoy the video. Alright, you guys, so I have cleaned and washed my pork chops, and I am going to sprinkle some onion powder all over them, just like I am doing right here in the video. a decent amount to my liking. Next, we have some roasted garlic and herb grill masters. I've never tried this before, so to this day that I'm cooking these pork chops, this is my first time, and I just put a little small amount of this seasoning all over the pork chops as well. And next, I have the pineapple teriyaki grill masters. I was super excited to try this because it was a different flavor, and I figured that the savory and the salty would go well, and the crust from the pork chops, all of that would be incorporated into the flavors and the juices of the pork chop. And I just knew it was just going to be bomb.com. So I sprinkled those two seasonings those two grill master seasonings on the pork chops with the onion powder. And that's pretty much all of my seasoning that I'm going to be using on the pork chops because I wanted to stick to a strict flavor profile for these pork chops. And I wanted them to definitely have the flavor of the pineapple teriyaki seasoning. And I didn't want anything else to like overpower the flavors. Hey, I'm right here. I get you when. I'm dancing or whatever, listening to my music on my brand new TV, just enjoying life, cooking, frying pork chops. All right, so I am mixing up the pork chops and the seasoning to make sure everything is coated evenly, like that, as you can see. We got a nice even coat of seasoning on the pork chop. I was gonna put some mustard on the pork chops, but I was like, let me just keep it simple and just keep the seasoning to a minimum on the pork chops. And so once I get finished just mixing everything up and spreading the pork chops out, I'm going to pop a lid on the pork chops and put them in the refrigerator, and I'm going to marinate them for maybe like 30 to 45 minutes. All right. And that is what I'm doing right here. Putting the lid on it and popping it in the fridge. Next up, I'm going to be making my flour for my pork chops. So I am, well, right here, I actually got the cheese out of the refrigerator because I am going to be shredding that cheese. I had to grate all of the cheese by hand, one by one, which, oh my goodness. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But I have medium cheddar cheese. I have Monterey Jack cheese. And I have sharp cheddar cheese. And these are all blocks. You want to make sure that you have the cheese blocks. And so I started to shred them up. I actually had to go and get a cheese grater, which I told you about because I did not have one. Right here, I'm vibing to the song. Hey. Burning blue. Girl, if I could sing, baby. But anyways, I got the flour. This is the flour, so I'm just putting some flour into a container, and then I'm gonna add a Goyo Sasson packet in the orange pack to it, keeping it simple. That you definitely want to season your flour though, but a little bit goes a long way. So I just put a little bit of this Goyo Sasson seasoning, and I'm gonna add a little bit more of the pineapple teriyaki seasoning into the flour, and then I'm just going to mix everything up really, really good, nice and blended. It might seem like I'm putting a lot of seasoning, but I'm definitely not because that seasoning is more so like sweet and savory. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And right here, I'm just mixing, 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 mix it, mix it, mix it. Like that. All right. Once everything is mixed, I'm going to pop the lid on that and set that to the side and continue working on my mac and cheese. I'm actually about to get the pot and boil the water for the mac and cheese. So I basically just filled the water up to the top, or a little bit underneath, like the first notch on the pot. And I just let the water come to a boil. And once my water starts boiling for my pasta, I'm going to go ahead and put the pasta inside of the water. But first, I'm going to add salt. You want your water to be salty like the sea when you are cooking pasta, because the salt, it absorbs into the pasta, and so you really won't have to add all the extra seasoning if your water is already salted for your pasta. So that's what I'm doing. Placing the water on the stove, bringing it to a boil. Then I'm going to add the salt. I only had a little bit of salt left in that bottle, so I just went ahead and used all of it and dumped it in there. And that pasta was actually delicious. I'm wiping out my skillet so I could put the oil in for the pork chops as well. All right. Excuse me. All right, so here I grabbed the salt, and you're going to see me put a good amount of salt in there. It looks like a lot of salt, but it's actually not a lot of salt. So I'm just using up the rest of it. Actually, it looks like a ton of salt, but it's not. It was just like the perfect amount, honestly. I'm telling you, it definitely was the perfect amount. All right, so we're going to let that boil. While that's boiling, I'm making my seasoning for my macaroni, and it's really simple. Just a little bit of chicken bouillon packet and some black pepper. That's it. And this is just, you're going to see what I do with this in a few minutes. So it's just basically the chicken, goyo chicken bouillon and some black pepper. And I just season it to my liking. I eyeballed it. I put as much in there as I like. Y'all, I'm recording this video while I'm laying down. This food was so good that I didn't even get to show y'all the finished product at the end. But you will get to see everything that I did and what everything looks like, but not plated, because we ate their food and we watched a movie and we enjoyed the rest of our night, and I wasn't even thinking about filming anymore. All right, so the water is boiling, and now I'm going to add my cavatappi pasta to the water. And the reason why I'm using cavatappi, hey, you ain't know I could do that, did you? Throw that thing in a circle. But anyways, the cavatappi pasta is because I saw Tiny. She makes her mac and cheese with cavatappi pasta. So I wanted to try the cavatappi pasta because she was like the cheese gets incorporated all throughout the corkscrew of the pasta. So the best way to tell if your pasta is done is to bite a piece. So I'm not gonna bite it right here. Oh, yes, I am biting it right there. And it's done. 10 out of 10. It tastes good because I salted. The water was salty like the sea. But yeah, I chose to use cavatappi because of Tiny. She makes great mac and cheese. But this mac and cheese that I'm making is not her recipe. This is just how I was doing it. I will say this recipe was great. 10 out of 10. This recipe was so delicious. The texture, everything was so bomb. I just did not have enough heavy whipping cream. I actually needed some more heavy whipping cream. I thought the half gallon or what the pint would have been enough, but it was not enough for this dish. I definitely next time will get a half gallon of heavy whipping cream to do this mac and cheese. But basically, how I'm layering this, I put butter down first, and then I put the cavatappi noodles over the butter, and then I'm sprinkling the chicken bouillon and black pepper seasoning all over it, and then I put a little bit, here's a secret, I put a little bit of yellow mustard on top of everything without mixing it. And then I do a layer of cheese. And then I just repeat the process until everything is finished. And here I'm putting the seasoning on and the butter and the cheese. And then I'm going to I'm going to pour the heavy whipped cream all over it. And it appeared to be enough, but it wasn't. I wanted to like at least cover have a shallow covering over top of the noodles, and it didn't. It will literally only went like halfway. So it was so good though. The flavor and the texture and everything was so good and creamy. But like if you let it sit, it dried a little bit, and so when you reheat it, it regained its moisture. But I just didn't like for the top to be so a little bit dry because I didn't have enough heavy whipping cream, as you can see here. So I did what I had to do and I made it work. My man loved it. I loved it. So we were good to go. Oh, and I do have a special guest for you guys in this video. You will see, well, you will get to see Bubby's hands. You won't see his face, but in a few minutes, he's going to be cutting up the pork chops for me. All right, so I put some aluminum foil on it and I'm going to sit the mac and cheese in the oven for 35 minutes covered. All right, so here I have my green beans and I just put some extra virgin olive oil on the bottom of the pan with some garlic, a tablespoon of garlic, and some Goyo vegetable seasoning and black pepper, and that's it. And I'm just gonna mix everything up and let that come to a boil. And then I'm gonna lower the heat, put it on the lowest setting, and let it just cook. This was so good. I tasted it after it got finished boiling before I turned it down low. The flavor was immaculate, so delicious. Oh my goodness. The flavor of these green beans was so good. And I only used one vegetable seasoning packet. So right here is boiling or simmering to the heat that I want it to be. And I'm going to turn it down to low. All right, next things. Next, we got our pork chops and I am about to dip those bad boys into the flour and put them in just some regular vegetable oil that I have over there. I just want to make sure that my pork chops are evenly coated with the flour and that my oil is hot enough so as soon as it gets in the pan that it starts to sizzle and fry. All right, so I'm making sure that my pork chops are evenly coated. And then I'm just going to take that bad boy and put it into the frying pan and fry it up, fry it up, fry it up, fry it up. Hey, anyway, all right, so there you have it, sizzling, little razzle dazzle in there. All right, and so I am frying the pork chops one by one. So this is the first one. Look at that delicious, crusty, crispy. Look at that. Pork chop. All right, so here's the second one. And I'm just frying them up one by one. And dance break. All right. That's what that pork chop is looking like. Looks really delicious. All right, coming up next, I'm showing you guys what the mac and cheese is looking like after the 35 minutes. I took the foil off of it. You see how it looks so gooey and cheesy, and it tasted exactly like that. There is Bubby. Hi, look at his handsome hands. I love him so much. He's cutting up these pork chops for me into little bite-sized pieces because I don't like thick meat. But I did want a piece of that bone. And he ended up getting the bone and he ate like all of the bones, but I wanted some of that bone. Like, look at that bone. Like, that was just like the best part of the pork chop. The bone, the part by the bone, if you know, you know. But he's cutting it up. The food was super delicious, super amazing. Like I was saying earlier, we end up eating the food and just having a good time. And I did not get to finish recording the video, but you got to see what it looked like for the most part. The pork chops was tender and juicy. The mac and cheese was fire, 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 fire. And the green beans was fire as well. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.